As dusk settles over the lush, undulating landscapes of feudal Japan, the twilight sky unfolds, revealing a tapestry of constellations that have long enchanted the hearts and minds of those who dwell beneath them. The stars, each a luminous pinprick against the encroaching night, offer a silent witness to the myriad lives that flourish on this archipelago, from the noble samurai, clad in their lacquered armor, to the humble farmer, tending to ripening rice paddies. This period, stretching from the late 12th century into the mid-16th century, spanning the Kamakura to Muromachi eras, unfolds like the layers of a finely woven kimono, burdened with rich narratives, artistic achievements, and a profound connection to nature that defines the essence of existence for its diverse inhabitants. As we begin our exploration, imagine walking along a narrow path winding through verdant hills, the air fresh and fragrant with the scent of damp earth and blooming cherry blossoms. It is an evening that feels suspended in time, the gentle murmur of a nearby stream harmonizing with the soft rustling of leaves, and the distant calls of cicadas punctuating the stillness. Here beneath the expansive sky, a world of feudal Japan thrives, built upon intricate social structures and an unwavering philosophical foundation, a world characterized by a complex tapestry of relationships that intertwine the lives of warriors, farmers, artisans, and monks. Feudalism in Japan emerged during this period, a response to the tumultuous cycles of conflict and the quest for stability. It introduced a rigid hierarchical system that defined the roles and responsibilities of each stratum within society. At its pinnacle stood the shogun, a military ruler whose authority was both feared and revered, followed closely by the daimyo, the affluent landholding lords whose influence extended far beyond their territories. Below them lay the samurai, a class known for their martial prowess, disciplined lifestyle, and deep-seated loyalty to their masters, which became the bedrock of the emerging social fabric during these centuries. This relationship between lord and vassal, tethered by duty and honor, helped cultivate a sense of identity that echoed through the annals of time. By contrast, the rice farmer, often viewed through the lens of toil, formed the backbone of the feudal economy. Their days are long and shaped by the rhythms of nature, a cyclical existence dictated by the seasons. They rise with the sun, working the fields under the watchful eyes of the mountains that cradle their villages. The glistening rice paddies shimmer like mirrors, reflecting the vast expanse of sky, where the stars will soon twinkle above, casting a calm light upon the earth. It is said that the connection between the Japanese people and their land is imbued with spirituality. The worship of kami, deities residing in natural elements, speaks to a wellspring of reverence for the world around them that permeates daily life. In this intricate web of relationships, philosophical and artistic currents flow freely, shaping the values and aspirations of the populace. Buddhism, arriving from the continent, weaves itself into the fabric of Japanese spirituality, offering solace and enlightenment. Simultaneously, the indigenous beliefs of Shinto, deeply rooted in the reverence for nature and the spirits that inhabit it, coalesce into a unique amalgamation of thought that resonates harmoniously with the landscape. Each shrine, each ritual mirrors the changing seasons, the cherry blossom's fleeting beauty, the first snowfall on sacred peaks, a constant reminder of the ephemeral nature of life and the drive to find harmony within oneself. As the stars begin to emerge in earnest, each gleaming orb sings a quiet symphony that echoes the aspirations of poets and artists alike. The Zen aesthetic, with its embrace of simplicity and transience, finds expression in the delicate strokes of ink on rice paper, capturing the essence of a moment with poignant clarity, much like the fleeting bloom of the cherry blossom. Calligraphy flows across the page, each character a whisper of human experience, reflecting truths that traverse both time and space. The art of tea, introduced through influence and refinement, becomes not merely a beverage but a conduit for serenity, a cherished ritual that draws participants into a shared embrace of tranquility. Vistas of bamboo forests sway gently in the evening breeze, while the silhouette of distant mountains looms like guardians of time, embodying the unchanging essence of nature within the ever-evolving community dynamics. The humble thatched roofs of unassuming dwellings emerge as beacons of warmth against the encroaching night, each flickering oil lantern casting shadows that dance along the walls, infusing the air with the scent of roasted chestnuts and family gatherings. Here, families come together to share meals, stories, and laughter, under the watchful gaze of their ancestors, whose spirits continue to guide and protect them. As the moon ascends the sky, reflecting its ghostly light upon tranquil waters and softly swaying reeds, we witness a society poised on the cusp of transformation, one that balances the virtues of loyalty and discipline with the unfolding recognition of broader horizons. Within the stillness of the night, the whispers of those who have come before resonate through time, reminding us of the intricacies of hope and struggle, love and loss. Each life, although distinct, weaves into the grand narrative of a world shaped time and again by the steadfast rhythms of nature and human resolve. Thus, as you find comfort under a blanket of stars, allow yourself to be immersed in the serenity that envelops feudal Japan, where stars twinkle above and life continues in beautiful harmony with the world. Each moment within this realm is suffused with meaning, a slow unfolding of historical resonance intertwined with the present, grounding the spirit in a landscape both alive and reflective. Here, the past breathes alongside the future, inviting contemplation as the night deepens and the stars gaze down upon this world, holding its stories like shimmering treasures waiting to be discovered. As the cool night deepens, bringing clarity to the expanse of the heavens, it becomes increasingly clear that the world beneath those stars was born from a richly woven history that traces its roots back through time. The gentle lapping of waves against the shore and the distant rustling of the forest weave together the fabric of a society anchored by tradition and shaped by the terrain in which it resides. To understand feudal Japan, one must delve into its geographical diversity, a tapestry stitched together by mountains, rivers, forests, and coastal lines that create a cradle for human existence in this archipelago. The islands of Japan are adorned with an array of geographic wonders, the cresting peaks of the Japanese Alps, the verdant hills that roll gently through the heart of Honshu, and the tranquil coastlines that kiss the shores with lapping waves. Shrouded in legends and tales, these natural landscapes not only offered resources for sustenance, but also fostered a sense of identity intertwined with the very essence of the land itself. The challenges of the geography shaped settlements and determined the daily rhythms of life. Within fertile valleys, rice paddies sprang to life, while coastal villages thrived on fishing, their inhabitants adapting seamlessly to the blessings and trials presented by their environments. The mountainous terrains, which tower majestically over vast stretches of land, create not only stunning vistas but also a protective barrier, sheltering communities from external threats while fostering a sense of fine isolation. Here, remote villages could cultivate deeply rooted traditions, nurtured through generations as they paid homage to the spirits, kami, believed to reside within the very rocks, streams, and trees that surrounded them. These sacred relationships carved a sacred space within the hearts of the people, an interplay of reverence and reliance that further cemented the profound philosophies emerging during the Heian and subsequent periods. Beneath these serene landscapes, the socio-political realities began to unfold, giving rise to a burgeoning class structure steeped in loyalty, responsibility, and honor. The Heian period, a time characterized by cultural flourishing, acted as a precursor to the intricate systems that would underpin feudal society. In the quiet corridors of the imperial court, poetry and art blossomed, weaving a narrative of elegance and sophistication that greatly impacted the cultural landscape. However, while the court itself may have enjoyed the luxurious trappings, the societal fabric began to fray at the edges, giving way to the emergence of new powers from the provinces. Amidst this backdrop of cultural vibrancy, the land was increasingly divided among the growing clans, as ambitious warlords, the daimyo, began to carve out fiefdoms. Bound by loyalty to their lords, the samurai rose in rank and prominence, transforming from mere warriors into a recognized class defined by a strict code of conduct known as Bushido, the way of the warrior. This way of life not only dictated their martial practices, but also infused everyday existence with values that transcended realms of warfare. Honor, bravery, and duty became the hallmarks of their identity, guiding their actions even in the face of personal sacrifice. It is within this context of shifting alliances and intricate power dynamics that the Kamakura shogunate arose, a realization of the need for military stability amidst the tumultuous tides of ambition. The establishment of the shogunate signified a critical juncture, where the balance of power shifted away from the imperial courts to militaristic governance. Towns emerged and grew within the familiar landscape of rice cultivation, further invigorating the interactions between various classes within society. As the agricultural base strengthened, it not only sustained the inhabitants but also nourished the rising merchant class, slowly redefining the strata that had long remained unquestioned. Amidst the broader currents of social evolution, a quiet revolution occurred within the hearts of everyday people. The fields became a canvas upon which the values of community and collaboration were painted. Flourishing markets emerged in close proximity to agricultural centers, where peasants gathered not just to barter produce, but to share stories, marvel at crafts, and engage in the cultural expressions that thrived alongside their labor. These markets became vibrant microcosms of life, imbued with a sense of unity that flourished in contrast to the rigid lines of social hierarchy that often separated individuals. Here, artisans shared their creations, potters shaped clay into functional beauty, while textile weavers transformed fibers into colorful garments that would adorn the spectrum of society. The reverberations of cultural synthesis also rippled through the spiritual landscape, as Buddhism took root in the fertile soil of Japanese belief, the arrival of Zen philosophies introduced a new lens through which the world could be contemplated, encouraging mindfulness and an appreciation for the present moment. As evening approached and shadows deepened, the soft glow of temple lanterns illuminated paths of reflection for many who sought solace in ritual and meditation. Shrines dedicated to both Shinto and Buddhist practices became physical manifestations of the intermingling of faiths, where offerings were made and rituals performed with the intent of aligning human experience with the natural rhythm of life itself. Furthermore, the architecture of the time reflected something profound, a reverence for simplicity that embraced elements of nature. The thatched roofs of rural dwellings, the quiet elegance of shrines, and the graceful curves of wooden temples spoke not only to the functional needs of shelter, but also to a sense of harmony that resonated throughout the lifestyle of those living under the stars. In these structures, one could find the essence of peace woven intricately with daily life, where family gatherings around the future rice harvest or a shared cup of tea became rites of connection and remembrance. And thus, as the moon rises higher, casting a shimmering glow upon the land, we find ourselves drawn into the embrace of this intricate historical narrative, a tapestry woven of commitments, challenges, and celebrations. The sounds of nature sing in harmony with the realization that each individual, whether engaged in tending to the land or crafting elegant artifacts, contributes to a profound collective experience. The sense of deep belonging resonates through generations, and within the quietude of the night, humanity is drawn into a delicate dance with the stars above, a reminder of the responsibility we each carry to preserve and honor the legacies that shape our own existences. The whispers of feudal Japan, echoing among the hills and valleys, guide us to a world enriched by both past struggles and aspirations. As we take a moment to reflect on this intricate web of life, we begin to comprehend that underneath the vast sky, the journey of understanding the foundations of society is illuminated not only by significant shifts in power and belief, but by the daily endeavors of countless lives interwoven within the eternal embrace of the stars. Each evening, beneath the celestial wonders of the night, the stories of the past beckon to us in soft tones, urging us to explore the fullness of their meaning. In the embrace of these quiet hours, take a breath and imagine the landscape that nurtured the thoughts and dreams of those who lived before. Envision again the collective heart that beat within the arteries of rice fields and bustling marketplaces. Such is the beautiful symmetry of history, an ever-evolving tapestry that connects us to the deep roots of our shared humanity as we unfurl the layers of existence in one of the most culturally rich and profound epochs of our beloved world. As the stars twinkle above, a reminder of the timelessness of the universe, the people beneath their celestial guardians engage in the rhythm of their daily lives, bound to the intricate dance of society during the feudal period of Japan. In this serene yet vibrant existence, each day began with the chirping of morning birds ushering in a new cycle of work and communal effort, amidst the rolling hills and lush greenery that cradled their villages. The unwavering constancy of nature framed the lives of the residents, who embraced each season as a cherished part of their existence, grounding their work and traditions in the cadence of the earth. In the heart of rural landscapes, life revolved around the sacred act of tilling the land. Farmers rose with the sun, gathering tools and heading to the fields, where the rich, dark earth lay ready for cultivation. The sounds of rustling rice plants and the farmyard symphony of clucking hens and mooing cows filled the air as families gathered to tend to their responsibilities. Rice, the staple of life, symbolized not just sustenance, but a living embodiment of community effort and harmony with nature. Each grain bore witness to the collective labor that transformed seeds into flourishing fields, a testament to resilience, patience, and cooperation. Women played an integral role in this pastoral life, often regarded as the backbone of the household. As men worked the fields, women gathered water from streams, prepared meals, and cared for children, ensuring the smooth functioning of day-to-day living. The rhythm of life flowed seamlessly between the genders, with every family member contributing to the shared tapestry of existence. In the evenings, as twilight swept gently across the sky, they would gather under one roof, sharing stories over the steaming bowls of rice enriched with vegetables brought to life through inexhaustible labor. The communal experience of dining fostered bonds that ran deep. It was both a moment of nourishment and a nurturing of spirit, where laughter mingled with the echoes of past trials and joys. These everyday routines were punctuated by solemn moments of reverence, wherein spirituality permeated the fabric of existence. Local shrines dedicated to kami, the spirits of nature, stood amidst the lush greenery, offering a serene space for reflection and worship. The villagers would often walk to these sacred sites to pay homage, leaving small offerings of rice or flowers, seeking blessings for bountiful harvests and protection from calamity. The reverence shown to the kami underscored a deep connection to the land, yielding a sense of responsibility to not only honor their spirits, but also care for the environment that sustained them. The interplay between nature and spirituality found its way into the daily routines, moving through the rituals performed at dawn and dusk, ensuring that each action was imbued with significance. Within the intricate web of feudal Japan, a hierarchy governed by the samurai class began to take shape, serving as both warriors and stewards of the land. These figures stood in stark contrast to the agricultural populace living lives that combined martial prowess with a philosophical code of behavior. The teachings of Bushido, steeped in loyalty and honor, guided the samurai and marked their distinguished path in society, alongside their delicate yet firm association with the ruling daimyo. Amidst this backdrop of class structure, a sense of stoic pride permeated the lives of the samurai, who found purpose in protecting their lords and upholding the values they held dear. The architectural style of the time mirrored the societies and philosophies that guided daily life, often embodying a harmonious relationship with nature. Houses were typically modest, their thatched roofs rising gently to embrace the sky, while sliding shoji doors adorned with elegant woodwork served as a seamless transition between the inside and outside worlds. Wooden beams reflected the material availability from nearby forests, showcasing the craftsmanship that defined artisanal practice. The interiors, often arranged around a hearth, fostered warmth and togetherness, where families would share their thoughts and dreams in the comforting glow of firelight. It was within these spaces that tradition was passed down, from tales of valor to practices that honored the seasons and cycles of life. As night fell, the soft glow of lanterns would illuminate the villages, while the plaintive wail of the wind would sing through the open spaces. Festivals would arise throughout the year, celebrating the ebbs and flows of agricultural cycles, where communities came together draped in vibrant kimonos, each fabric telling a story of color and culture. Surrounded by laughter and music, the clamor of dance resonated in the night air, momentarily eclipsing the burdens of daily labor. The artistry woven into their garments spoke of time-honored techniques that honored both the skill of the weavers and the vibrant spirit of winter celebrations or the abundance of summer. Through this creative lens, artisans began to flourish, pouring passion into the work of their hands. Pottery and textiles emerged as reflections of individual and communal stories, capturing the essence of both struggle and beauty. With every molded clay teapot and intricately dyed fabric, a window into the soul of feudal Japan revealed itself, a delicate interplay between utility and aesthetic expression, enmeshed with the identity of the people. Art in many forms blossomed in this era. Poetry echoed through the ages, capturing fleeting moments of human emotion, while landscapes and idyllic scenes were captured on canvas, immortalizing the magnificence of nature intertwined with human experience. Yet amid this rich tapestry of culture and artistry, the specter of conflict loomed in the shadows, often breaking the tranquility of everyday life. Rivalries between clans could erupt, turning serene landscapes into battlegrounds with profound implications. The echoes of swords clashing, while seldom witnessed in mundane distraction, loomed like a distant thunder, ominously reminding the populace of the transient nature of peace. For the samurai, such moments yielded choices that were steeped in the philosophy of honor, demanding unwavering resolve that often shaped their existence as fiercely as the fabric of tradition. Amidst these tensions, the echoes of shared humanity surged on, the familial ties forged against the tumultuous backdrop of imperfect beauty. Children learned not simply to wield swords or craft artifacts, but also to embrace the principles of compassion and connection, as elders imparted wisdom in the quiet hours of the night. It was in these instances that love flourished, bonds tightened, and community endured. For even in the face of adversity, people found solace in each other, wrapped in the shared narrative of resilience and life nestled beneath the vast starlit sky. As the stars reflected upon the tranquil waters and the gentle sway of reeds danced in the nighttime breeze, the people of feudal Japan engaged in the eternal act of filtering the past through their daily lives. Their laughter, reverence, toils, and triumphs formed the heartbeat of this world, intricately woven together with resilience and connection, as enduring as the very mountains that cradled their lands. Each individual embraced a role, effortlessly contributing to a legacy that danced through generations, illuminating the unseen threads that connect us all, suspended beneath the quiet promise of the stars above. As time enfolded itself around the lives of the inhabitants of feudal Japan, the age-old tranquility was periodically disrupted by the clashing of ambitions and the thundering of hooves upon the earth. Power dynamics shifted like the flowing rivers that wound through the land, each bend and twist marking moments of contention that rippled throughout the social fabric. Clans rose and fell in ambition, vying for dominance, each leader driven by a complex tapestry of personal honor, desire for territory, and a longing to be remembered in the chronicles of time. Among these powerful families, the Minamoto and Taira clans stood as formidable titans early on, emblematic of their mutual desire to ascend to the zenith of authority. The genesis of this conflict traces back to the late Heian period, where the seeds of a nationwide upheaval were planted in the fertile soil of society. It was a time when the emperor's influence began to wane, and a burgeoning class of armed retainers, the samurai, started to carve out their place within the hierarchical system. Once mere warriors serving noble families, they transformed into a critical political force, guided by a code of conduct that emphasized valor, loyalty, and honor. As the will of the imperial court succumbed to internal strife and struggles for power, the samurai forged alliances and rivalries, gradually entrenching themselves in the political landscape. It was during this eclipse of imperial authority that the Genpei War erupted, a violent clash between the Minamoto and Taira clans that would become one of the defining conflicts of the period. The echoes of this war, fought between 1180 and 1185, rang throughout the archipelago, shaking the very foundation of Japanese society. Utilizing naval prowess alongside ground forces, the Taira clan seemed poised for victory, bolstered by their wealth and the backing of the imperial court. Yet it was the cunning strategies and martial discipline of the Minamoto, spectacularly personified by their leader, Minamoto no Yoritomo, that ultimately turned the tide. At the climactic Battle of Dan no Yura, the moonlit waters bore witness to a decisive engagement that sealed the fate of the Taira. The conflict wrought not merely a change in power, but unveiled a new era of rule that characterized the landscape of Japan, a shogunate led by the samurai, marking the transition from courtly ceremonial to martial governance. With the establishment of the Kamakura shogunate in 1192, the governance structure of Japan transformed irrevocably. Yoritomo bestowed the title of shogun, epitomized this shift. The military became the backbone of governmental authority, supplanting the imperial court with a new order that sought to balance the needs of the warriors and the agricultural populace alike. Beneath the stars that painted the sky with sheen, farmers resumed their toils, but now under the watchful eye of a new ruler who understood their struggles, for he, too, thrived upon the very labor they provided. This interdependence created an intricate web, wherein the shogunate ensured peace and protection in exchange for taxes and loyalty from the agrarian class. However, the ascendance of the samurai class brewed currents of conflict simmering below the surface. Tensions between powerful families persisted, as ambitious leaders sought to extend their dominions and secure their positions. Alliances formed and fractured, leading to a landscape punctuated by rival clans such as the Ashikaga, who emerged as a force to be reckoned with in the 14th century. The mixing of cunning diplomacy and violent confrontation illustrated a reality marked by ceaseless ambition, a realm where honor dictated the lengths to which one might go, and loyalty was sometimes a double-edged sword. By the onset of the Muromachi period, these factors came to fruition in the form of the Nambokucho Wars, a series of conflicts between the northern and southern courts, both claiming the legitimacy of the imperial throne. These divisions further fractalized an already complex social order, where the peasants, caught in the crossfire of feuding factions, continued to labor under the bated breath of uncertainty. While the tides of conflict escalated, the essence of life remained rooted in the steadfast cycles of nature, where rice paddies still beckoned for cultivation, and the sacred rituals honoring the kami persisted. Amidst this pervasive instability, the resilience of Japanese culture endured, evolving and adapting even in the shadows of war. The emergence of the Ashikaga shogunate heralded a new chapter in art and culture, with the wellspring of inspiration flowing from the convergence of nature and human creation. Temples and gardens flourished, redolent with innovation, as revered poets and artists sought to immortalize their world through their craft. The illustrious No Theatre, with its haunting echo of the past interwoven with the present, invited reflection and contemplation upon fleeting beauty, reflecting the ephemerality of life itself. The importance of artistic expression grew even amidst strife, mapping the human experience onto the canvas of history. Poetry thrived, succinct expressions of emotion and introspection capturing the essence of daily battles, both internal and external. The delicate brushstrokes of ink painted scenes of warfare, love, and loss, reflecting dualities while intertwining agony and beauty in a continuum of existence. The written word seeped into the fabric of society, tales woven from the threads of personal strife and communal resilience, resonating across the ages as memorials to collective experience. Additionally, the burgeoning samurai code of Bushido, honor, loyalty, and self-discipline, found its place within the heart of this tumult. As battles raged and blood flowed, the inner convictions of these warriors steered their endeavors, binding them to a legacy that transcended mere martial prowess. They became not only defenders, but also cultivators of a cultural ethos that reverberated through the paths of future generations. Each falling warrior in the thick of a conflict left behind a narrative interlaced with principles that would come to define the very essence of Japanese identity. While the visibility of warfare streaked across the sky like a comet, the lives of ordinary people continued to unravel in a tapestry marked by simple pleasures and profound connections. As battles would erupt and villages would brace against the ferocity of conflict, the enduring spirit of human connection kept communities intact. Families would enact rituals of remembrance, fostering bonds that would sustain them amid a landscape often punctuated by uncertainty and change. Evenings spent under the stars allowed the whispers of shared experiences to resonate strongly in the night, tales of ancestral valor and communal challenges echoing in quiet corners. Under the watchful gaze of celestial bodies, a quiet understanding emerged, fostering a sense of purpose and mutual respect among the villagers. Eager to preserve the cultural lineage, they would gather at dusk to share the flickering warmth of firelight, wrapped in the comfort of kinship as they recounted the sagas of their forebears against the larger canvas of history. Each thread woven into their storytelling bound them together, a reminder that even amidst conflict, the roots of tradition could create a canopy of remembrance that sheltered many. Yet, like the vibrant colors of autumn slipping into winter's embrace, change is ever present, lingering at the edges of existence. The ongoing challenges of maintaining peace amidst ambition and rivalry left indelible marks upon the villages, as their resilience was tested by an ever-evolving landscape of political realities. With each season unraveling beneath the sway of a starlit sky, the hopes of the people endured, reflecting not only a survival of the body but an unyielding commitment to identity and continuity within their culture. Trapped between the past's hold and the pull of what was to come, fulfillment lay in the quiet moments, where ambition and tradition intertwined, shaping the very essence of life in feudal Japan. The landscape of feudal Japan, with its undulating hills and sprawling rice paddies, became not merely the backdrop of everyday life but a canvas upon which the complexities of the human experience were etched. As seasons turned and cycles of sowing and reaping dictated the rhythms of existence, the people of Japan found themselves at the mercy of forces both natural and human-driven. The intricate web of alliances and enmities spun among the noble clans began to unravel, leading to a fracturing of power that echoed across the valleys and mountains, reverberating through the lives intertwined within this historical tapestry. With the rise of the Ashikaga shogunate, a shift occurred that reshaped the very core of societal structure and cultural expression in Japan. The flourishing of the arts spoke of an evolution, a renaissance of sorts in the realms of painting and theater, where No and later kabuki began to emerge as vibrant forms of storytelling, delighting audiences with tales steeped in both the ethereal and the everyday. The formal gardens of the time, meticulously crafted to evoke inner peace and spiritual reflection, blossomed as quiet havens amidst the strife, a reminder of humanity's inherent longing for beauty and harmony. While above, the heavens adorned the night with a canopy of stars, below, artists endeavored to capture the ethereal beauty of life, weaving narrative threads that spoke not only of the tribulations of war but also of love and the fleeting nature of existence. Yet, as the cultural landscape thrived, the political domain remained fraught with volatility. The division between the northern and southern courts, embroiled in the Nanbokucho Wars, was emblematic of a society at a crossroads, where powerful factions contended for legitimacy and influence. Each court claimed a stake in the imperial legacy, grasping at the remnants of authority that had begun to slip through their fingers. The primary fabric of unity, once tethered securely to the imperium, began to fray, transformed by the ambitions of powerful warlords whose aspirations stretched far beyond the confines of familial honor and political loyalty. As the drums of war echoed once again across the landscape, people found themselves caught in an unending dance of survival, rooted in cycles of agriculture and familial responsibilities, while the clarion call of conflict beckoned from the battlegrounds. The heart of rural life, with its intimate bonds forged through toil and laughter, remained invested in the simple yet profound moments that defined their existence. Families gathered in thatched-roof homes, sharing food and stories, pulling together as they sowed crops and raised children, each generation finding a semblance of continuity within the unrelenting currents of change that surrounded them. Women played indispensable roles in these settings, their contributions underpinning the stability of their households and communities. While the samurai took to the field, wives and mothers became the anchor points of family life, managing properties, tending to the needs of children, and preserving the sacred knowledge passed down through generations. Their endurance provided a framework of resilience, an unspoken assurance that familial bonds would adapt, even thrive amid challenges. In these profound turns of history, warriors still battled for supremacy, yet the ghosts of the past loomed large, ever-present reminders of sacrifices made on bloodied fields. The stories of fallen heroes took on the quality of legend, woven into the cultural consciousness of Japan, where respects were paid not only to personal valor, but to the shared memory of those who had shaped the narrative of the samurai's path. These reflections upon the past and the lives they once led provided solace to living hearts, urging the preservation of customs honoring those who had paved the way. As violence intermingled with lyrical expression, the stage was set for pivotal transformations during the tumultuous Sengoku period, a time often regarded as the age of warring states. Here, the strife reached fever pitch, as clan leaders continually sought greater dominion over ever-shifting territories. Those who had once been allies could, without warning, become sworn enemies, the tenuous threads of loyalty frayed and tangled, creating a plethora of feudal relationships that shifted like sand beneath their feet. In this chaotic arena, the idea of a unifying shogun began to emerge, a figure capable of bringing peace to a war-weary land, fostering a collective hope that perhaps one day the din of conflict would yield to quietude. Amongst these shifting alliances and the backdrop of warfare, the eventual rise of Tokugawa Ieyasu heralded a turning point that would alter the trajectory of Japan for centuries to come. Through a combination of strategic alliances, both familial and political, Ieyasu engineered a series of carefully calculated moves, positioning himself as the first shogun of the established Tokugawa shogunate in 1603. This reorganization not only strengthened centralized authority, but also solidified a hierarchical system that would govern Japan for the next 2.5 centuries, ushering in a period of relative peace known as the Edo period. Yet while this era of peace heralded economic prosperity and cultural flourishing, the roots of feudalism, deeply embedded within the psyche of the Japanese people, would continue to echo through the annals of time. The samurai class transformed from warriors engaged in battle to custodians of culture and societal order, embodying the ideals of Bushido as they transitioned into civil service roles, preserving their distinct ethos while adapting to the needs of a transformed society. This transformation laid the groundwork for a society complex in artistic inspiration and philosophical exploration, transcending mere survival, as individuals sought deeper meaning in lives shaped by both conflict and tranquility. As centuries passed and the stars shimmered above, a collective memory took root, allowing traditions to flourish even amidst the mechanism of change. Festivals harkened back to the agricultural cycles, as people donned garments of silk and cotton to celebrate with ritual dances and ceremonies that bridged the earthly and spiritual realms. In these moments, the stories of the past became part of the living present, woven into the fabric of events that celebrated life, love, and loss, ensuring that the legacy of those who came before would not be forgotten. Within contemporary hearts lies an echo of that rich history, a quiet reverence for the traditions that have shaped modern Japan's identity, where the impact of feudalism is still felt through values of loyalty and honor, mirrored in the lives of everyday people. Today, the remnants of castles, the gentle embrace of gardens, and the timeless practice of tea ceremonies invite reflections that transport one back to the essence of existence during the tumultuous days of feudal Japan. In the soft folds of night, beneath a luminous sky that has witnessed the passage of time, the stories of those who resisted, adapted, and thrived through vicissitudes of power remain alive, dancing like shadows under the stars. Their legacies linger, whispering reminders that you too can find meaning in the quiet moments, forging connections that persevere against time, much like the timeless constellations that bear witness to your journey. As the light of day dimmed and the world transitioned into the serene embrace of twilight, one could not help but reflect upon the echoes of a time long past. Under the same stars that once illuminated the lives and struggles of feudal Japan, present generations continue to find solace in the profound legacy of their ancestors. This vast and intricate tapestry, woven from the threads of honor, artistry, conflict, and spirituality, remains embedded in the very essence of what it means to be a part of this storied land. Each evening, as night cloaks the landscape in a gentle shroud of darkness, the generations that flicker through history reveal themselves in the glimmering constellations above, a silent reminder of both a rich past and a continuing narrative. In contemplating the tranquil beauty that permeated everyday life, one finds the interplay of nature and humanity a pivotal aspect that nurtured not only a sense of identity but also resilience. The harmony present in the rolling hills, nestled residences, and flowing rivers spoke to a culture deeply attuned to the natural world, a relationship characterized by reverence and reciprocity. As rice paddies shimmered like emeralds in the setting sun, families toiled lovingly, infusing their labor with care, aware that their very survival hinged upon the agricultural cycles that held the cadence of their lives. Yet within this cyclical existence lay the wisdom of their forebears, whose spirits lingered in the soil, whispered in the wind, and danced gently upon the surface of water. Throughout history, the feudal system in Japan, with its rigid hierarchies and intricate familial bonds, facilitated both stability and turmoil. The samurai and their mandates of loyalty, set against the backdrop of a land divided by ambition and fealty, created a narrative that shaped not only its influences on power structures, but also resonated within the hearts of its people. Even in tumultuous times, the lessons drawn from these lived experiences of discipline, loyalty, and sacrifice continue to echo into generations, safeguarding the fragile yet enduring essence of the samurai ethos. As the sun set and shadows stretched upon the earth, they invited contemplation upon these values that both illuminated and constrained the lives of those who walked upon this soil. Amidst the canvas of quiet villages and fortified castles, everyday individuals, too often obscured by the grand narratives of warriors and conflicts, wove their own stories of quiet endurance. Women, nurturing life in a dynamic and sometimes harsh world, played crucial roles, maintaining households and heritage, anchoring communities in continuity. Their contributions, significant yet often unsung, were underlined by a kind of daughterly connection to the land itself, as they fostered both growth in their fields and love within their families. Memories passed from generation to generation, laden with both heartache and joy, offered a foundation upon which cultural traditions flourished. In small acts preparing meals, preserving customs, and tending to rituals, the women of feudal Japan embody a timeless resilience that laid the groundwork for nurturing the spirit of their communities. As dusk deepened into night, the inevitability of loss shadowed the memories carried forth by descendants, imbuing the narratives of the past with a palpable sense of fragility. War, constant and relentless, carved through landscapes, leaving disruptions that echoed through valleys and hills long after the final dust had settled. The ghosts of those who had fallen remained poignant reminders of both sacrifice and the impermanence of life, each life a thread lost in the greater fabric of history. Together they formed a silent chorus that lamented not only the loss of individuals, but also the cultural continuity that was sometimes severed in the throes of conflict. Though violence would leave its mark, the indomitable spirit of remembrance thrived amid adversity. The tales recounted in the flickering light of hearths and twilight gatherings of families imbued lost moments with a sense of reverence. Festivals, customs, and communal ceremonies evolved, weaving remnants of ancient practices into the evolving societal narrative, ensuring that stories of valor and loss would not fade into silence. Such moments kept the immortal essence of ancestral spirits alive, and as the seasons turned, these timeless echoes became integral to the emotional landscape of Japan, allowing the hearts of modern peoples to feel deeply rooted in a past that shaped their identity. More than merely historical footprints, the lyrical resonance of lives once lived articulates a profound understanding of human connection, one that transcends the wake of strife and beckons towards unity. As Japan evolved, embracing new challenges and striking a delicate balance between innovation and tradition, the inherited legacies transformed into living ideals. The remnants of feudal culture shimmer quietly yet profoundly in the arts, philosophy, and even contemplative practices found in the stillness of Japanese gardens where one strolls under the dappled shade of cherry blossoms, a moment of reflection, a dialogue with the past. With each generation, diverse cultural influences merged, allowing new expressions of identity to emerge. Literature, poetry, and theatre birthed through the centuries drew heavily upon the experiences of feudal life, nurturing an artistic dialogue that would echo within the halls of modern consciousness. The philosophical undercurrents, deeply intertwined with the teachings of Confucianism, Zen Buddhism, and Shinto beliefs, imbued daily life with layers of meaning that offered pathways toward understanding a world uncertain yet rife with beauty. In quietude, one may still sense the whispers of those who strove against the tides of history, a musical thread woven into the imagery that transcends time, the reflection of their struggles, values, and dreams now informing the contemporary landscape. Present-day Japan stands as both monument and mirror, its bustling cities pulse with energies yet pulsate harmoniously with the vestiges of brilliant craftsmanship honed by hands over centuries, offering passages to a deepening connection with the roots of being. As the starlit canvases stretch across the skies above, they serve as symbols of continuity, a blend of past and present, with stories woven into the cosmos where silence reigns supreme. Beneath these stars, we ponder the lives once animated by the shadows, tracing the arcs of journeys taken and paths walked, encountering the mystery inherent in existence. These celestial bodies cast a contemplative light upon our lives, urging us to reflect on the fleeting moments intertwined within our own narratives. Indeed, within the depth of night, the moments of loss and joy, struggle and triumph, linger in the stillness as whispers of remembrance, reminding us that we too are connected to both the past and the vast expanse of time that lies ahead. In this sacred space of reflection, the legacy of feudal Japan endures, softly inviting us into its embrace. Just as the stars that illuminate the night sky hold untold stories of warriors, artisans, and families bound by shared experiences, the memories of those who walked before us offer threads of inspiration to navigate our own journeys. Let the quiet stirrings of these reflections wrap around you like a gentle breeze, evoking a profound stillness that fosters both introspection and a deep, abiding connection to the timeless narratives resonating through the very fabric of existence, inviting us to find meaning under a midnight sky, rich with enduring wisdom.